All right. 2 days after an assassination attempt during a rally in Pennsylvania, former President Trump made his first appearance at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee last night. Trump's right ear was visibly bandaged as he entered the convention hall. The crowd was cheering as the former president walked out during a live rendition of Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. Meanwhile, new details are beginning to emerge in the assassination attempt investigation. According to senior officials, forensic technicians are working 24 hours a day at the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia, analyzing the cell phone, laptop, computer of shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks. They successfully gained access to his phone earlier in the day, but the search of his electronics have yet to reveal a motive. This, as we're learning, the FBI is now investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism. Authorities found explosives in the car used by the gunman, and more than a dozen guns were found in a search of his family home. 3 officials say the shooter's father called police following the shooting of Trump to say that he was worried that both his son and his AR-15 were missing. The FBI is probing whether some ammunition was bought in the days before the shooting or whether it was delivered to the home.
You know, Willie, I just showing this shot right here. I mean, the overhead view of all of this is still, it doesn't, you know, the more times we see it, the more shocking it is that they actually had a building where there was a straight line between the shooter and the former president. So many things about this is so shocking, and you know,
kill shot.
Yeah, it was just directly ahead of it, and then you look at what happened after the shooting, how long it took them to get him covered up and protected. There are, you know, as we get further away from this, there are more and more questions about what the Secret Service was doing, not just pertaining to protecting the perimeter, but also protecting the former president after the first shots rang out.
Yeah, it's the question we've been asking since the immediate moments afterward. If you look at that layout in the map we just had up there, how just over a football field away from an elevated position could a 20-year-old man climb to the roof and just get a clean, open shot on the former president of the United States? It is a stunning failure. We're going to talk in some detail here about that in just a moment. But this is only by the grace of turning his head, thank goodness, is Donald Trump still alive, for the sake of his own sake, of his family, of the country, that he's still here because he turned his head. That was an open shot. And by the way, we're getting some new information here at NBC News. 4 officials telling us rally goers alerted local police to a suspicious person near a section of the rally prior to the gunshots ringing out. Lines up with a lot of the videos we've been seeing. Local police searched for the man on foot, but were unable to find him until he was spotted on the roof of that nearby building a short time later. During the pursuit, local police told the Secret Service they were looking for a suspicious person. However, it was not clear what time the Secret Service was notified and if it was before Trump took the stage. There are some videos out there. The New York Times has one on their website right now of people, while Donald Trump was speaking in the minutes before he was shot, pointing up to that rooftop and saying there's somebody up there with a gun. NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell has more now on the investigation.
Take a look at what happened.
Though stunning and unexpected, authorities had already considered the gunman's rooftop perch a worry. Witnesses say they spotted a threat that day.
We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle.
But the Secret Service had actually identified the building near the Trump rally as a potential vulnerability in the days before the event, according to 2 sources familiar with the agency's operations. But officials say no officers had been posted there. A key question is why. At the White House, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas said he expects within days to choose the head of an independent review from outside the administration.
I am committed to going externally of the department and externally of the government so that no question of its independence can be raised.
Secret Service officials say they had designated that local law enforcement would secure that building.
Any type of missteps that were made or miscommunication that was made, it has to be addressed.
A major shift affecting independent candidate Robert Kennedy, who has been repeatedly denied government security.
The president has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy Jr.
Kelly O'Donnell reporting there. Let's bring in NBC News national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter, NBC News law enforcement analyst Evie Poumpouras. She has experience serving in the Secret Service's Presidential Protective Division, and former U.S. attorney and MSNBC contributor Barbara McQuaid. Good morning to you all. Tom and Evie, you and I were on the air together Sunday morning in the hours after this took place. Tom, I'll start with you. A question that doesn't feel like it has a lot more answers than it did 48 hours ago, which is, what more do we know about the shooter and a potential motive?
Last time I saw you, I was hopeful that between the cell phone that they were able to recover, that they would be able to get into that. It is our lives. It doesn't tell a lie. You know, your web search history is your web search history. Your apps are your apps, and your messages are your messages. And I was hopeful that perhaps off of that, they would be able to determine not just the how. I think that's becoming into a more focus. You laid out some of the reasons, the purchases of ammo. Last night we reported that a Home Depot receipt was found on him, a purchase of a ladder. They're trying to determine whether that ladder that was purchased leading up to this shooting was the one that he used to get on the roof. So those type of details are coming through and are becoming more clear. But the why, and I know, and I get it because I get the vitriol online, somebody shot at Donald Trump. What other reason could it be than some sort of a political reason? That's what people are saying. And I think it's important to remember, first off, the last presidential shooting we had, John Hinckley Jr. did it to impress a Hollywood actress. We've seen a number of incidents happen over the years where people thought the motive was clear, and it turned out to be a complete 180 based on the evidence, and that's where the FBI needs to go with it. Then we found out yesterday that they had a preliminary review of the cell phone. The investigation is still ongoing, obviously, and there was really nothing on that led them to the why. And I think that's a real challenge. And going forward here in this investigation, they're talking to the family. Every indication so far is that the family has been cooperative, but they're kind of running out of leads at this point. And so I think they're either hoping that somebody comes forward or that they find some other piece of evidence or a needle within needles in a haystack to try to figure out why this happened. I will caution people that it is possible that we might never know why this individual got on the roof that day. And I would also caution people think, well, it's anti-Donald Trump because this person doesn't like them, because their views are on the other side of the political spectrum. It is possible that Donald Trump, and there's a bit of a theory in law enforcement, is it possible that Donald Trump was not conservative enough for this individual? It runs the gamut. And I think it's important in this situation, this is the way that we approach our reporting. Everything's on the table. Let's figure out what authorities have. Let's do our own work, talk to our own people. You saw some of that in Kelly's piece right there. And then from that point, we can start to piece together why this happened.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.